afternoon and welcome to TalaTalks, where I share my everyday thoughts and everyday experiences. I'm actually really excited for this video because today I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of challenges, I would say, of being a Filipino traveler in my own country, so domestically here in the Philippines. And I can't wait to go through that short list. Sharing with you some pros and cons of what it's like to travel domestically as a Filipino, so to travel as a local in my own country, the Philippines. And right now I feel a little bittersweet because this beautiful place, and we are right in front of the ocean, baby. It's looking beautiful. I feel a little bummed out because we're actually ending this month's long trip, and I'm gonna show you really quickly how beautiful this pool looks like. I'm gonna flip the camera so you can see. Oh, it's so pretty! Look at that. And I can actually see, I think, yeah, that is the sun. I was thinking it's the moon, but it's obviously the sun. The sun's gonna be setting there, and you can see the mountains from here. Look at that. It's a bit cloudy at the moment, so it's not going to be that clear. But really, we do have the best of both worlds. We've got the beautiful mountain range there. We've got the ocean over there. Let's actually take this video right where the sea is, because this afternoon's looking actually rather lovely, I would say. Oh my goodness, look at this view. It actually looks like it's super early in the morning, but no, the sun's about to be setting soon. I do think it drizzled a little bit, but wow, this is actually a place where they do a lot of fishing. But also in the afternoon, I usually see a lot of people fishing and swimming here as well. I think it's because the sun isn't as out as it used to be, or as it can be. Yeah, I'm actually enjoying the nice cool weather. It's a nice break for the skin, because your girl is not, unfortunately, like one of those Filipinos where they really tan well, and I have to say I'm very jealous of that. I have no qualms with getting a tan. In fact, I would love to have a tan. The only concern is if I do try to get a tan, I get crazy freckles and my skin burns. Ooh, there's a jet ski. Check this out. It's so random. I have never seen a jet ski here before. Where did they come from? I'm gonna sit on our umbrella here, because during the day, and I don't know if you see these tires hung up on the tree, there are some native cows here sometimes, so I'm pretty sure they're dung. Well, actually that is dung right there. It does blend very nicely with with the soil. But without further ado, let's begin this video. So I'll start with the first pro. Well, it's always nice to start with the pros, and then we'll end with the cons later on. But the first one, obviously, in traveling domestically in my own country as a Filipino, is cultural familiarity. Though I do have to say, to be specific, I am from the northern part of the Philippines, which is Luzon, and I am considered Tagalog. And therefore, the language that I speak, aside from English, is going to be Tagalog. Now, if I go to other places, say for example Mindanao, which is all the way to the other side, which is to the south, I love it there, by the way, but I also may not necessarily be familiar with their traditions and culture there, I do know, and yeah, know from experience that there are a lot of similarities. But when it comes to languages, there will be that language barrier as well. And so, but in general, most people speak, I would say, either Cebuano or not Cebuano, Bisaya or Filipino. And that makes traveling for me as a Filipino so much easier. I can easily speak Filipino with my fellow countrymen, or my kabayans, that's what we call it. And everything should be smooth sailing from here, or it has been smooth sailing ever since I started traveling full-time domestically. It's really nice. I don't know if you saw that last clip, but I can see some nice people swimming in the ocean, and there's a dog just by the shore, and it really looks like such a wholesome vibe. And by the way, I do hope that this Filipino and that this video is giving you lots of good vibes and positivity. The ocean is just such a calming, relaxing place overall. And that's why even if I can choose to take the videos inside our beautiful resort, I still choose to do it here, because personally, even for me, I can very much feel a lot of the healing effects, if you may. And the next one on the list is cost efficiency, definitely, because things are in peso here. Majority of the time, a lot of tourists or foreigners would come to the Philippines because they claim that it's so much cheaper, or they come to Asia because it's so much cheaper than traveling around Europe. And I do have to say that definitely is true, but up to a certain extent. I do notice that when I travel to other countries, neighboring countries like Thailand or Vietnam or even Malaysia, I did notice that a lot of the food there are so much cheaper than what you would get here. There are very affordable food here as well. But if we are speaking of salads, lots of whole foods, healthier foods, yeah, I would just say it's not going to be fair to compare apples to oranges. And so, but in general, definitely it will be more cost efficient in the Philippines than other countries like in Europe, or definitely in the US. Yeah, that's an amazing pro for me anyway. I do wish I was earning in a very powerful currency like maybe pounds or euros or dollars, because then maybe I would feel that it's much cheaper here. Because since I am a Filipino, I guess having affordability is very relevant. It just depends how much you're earning as well. Flip the camera this way. I don't know if that's gonna make it any clearer. I hope that's the case. The next one is accessibility, and definitely because I'm not gonna say I am familiar with everything around the Philippines, but since I've been traveling for quite a while now, for almost 6 years, I do feel like I'm getting the hang of it. And so yeah, I do know already that there's the option to take the plane, which preferably I would like to, just because it saves time, but also there's so much beauty and pleasure in taking the ferries. Number one, it could be cheaper just depending on when you decide to book your itinerary, but also you get to, I don't know, just occasionally go out of go to the dock. Is it called the dock or the deck? Go to the deck. The dock is where you dock the ship. I need to get familiarized with these terms, but you can look out the window or go to the deck and have a look at neighboring islands and just see, you know, what sailing feels like and looks like. And one time Eddie and I were very lucky, we got to see some dolphins when we were sailing from Batangas to Puerto Galera, and that for me was very magical, and I really enjoyed that. So there's going to be beauty in both flying and sailing as well. Though I do have to have a side note here that although there might seem like greater accessibility, just keep in mind that in the Philippines there are 7,700 islands. And so it can be a challenge getting from maybe not necessarily point A to B, but when you start trying to do a loop, and if you Google this online, you'll see motorbike routes that you can take to see the whole Philippines. We're definitely not gonna be like Europe, where you can take a train from city to city, country to country. Here, you can't take a train. I mean, you can, but just within Metro Manila. If you're planning to, let's say, go to different islands, you will have to look at many options in terms of sailing, buses, tricycles, planes, for sure, airplanes. But yeah, it just makes all the traveling more fun. That's why there's the hashtag more fun in the Philippines. And I do feel that it is serious, but also, pun intended, if you are the adventurous type, Philippines would definitely be your go-to place. I'm actually super excited to talk about this next one because even as a Filipino and I'm traveling in the Philippines, where I am from originally, I can definitely feel the difference. So the first on my list under cons is that due to a lot of influx of travelers and tourists and foreigners, which I'm very grateful for, by the way, I actually do want to say this under the pros. I am very proud and happy that there's a lot of foreign money coming in as well. It keeps the ecosystem, or the economy, not ecosystem, but the economy running. Though as a Filipino, I can feel that it tends to get very heavy or expensive for me, because when there's a lot of foreigners or tourists in a certain area, and I will name a couple of very mainstream places like Boracay, Palawan, and it's beautiful there. Even places like Siargao, which is my favorite, that's all the way in Mindanao. Because local businesses are very used to charging prices that foreigners are familiar with, or they might even find it cheap as a Filipino, because I am earning in local currency and it's not even a lot. I've been on a budget since I left the corporate world, and if you see my other videos, you'll basically know a bit of my background. But I do find a lot of these very beautiful places, touristy beautiful places, very, very, very expensive even for me as a Filipino. So a lot of the times I can't afford to pay those kinds of meals, for those kinds of meals or even accommodations, because the prices are too expensive, and they are catering to foreigners or foreign travelers that are willing to spend that much because their currency is good, and for a bunch of other reasons. That's a con for me, but definitely a pro. And I'm very grateful, pro in a sense where I'm grateful for lots of tourists coming in the Philippines. So yeah, it's a beautiful place to visit. So this next one might be a bit tricky, and it's supposedly fewer destinations, and the only reason why I put that under con is because, you know, when you keep traveling around the Philippines for the past 6 years, it is beautiful. Though I do have to say, there are mountain ranges, there's the ocean, there are lakes. We have a lot of lakes, we have a lot of volcanoes, we have a lot of rivers and waterfalls, just so many diverse landscapes, and that's actually a pro. Of course, there is a world outside the Philippines. There are different countries to explore, different food to taste, different people to meet, and experiences to try. And so I do get curious as well, like what is it like to try other cuisines outside the Philippines. And yeah, of course, you know, if the budget permits, I would love to explore other countries. I guess in the grand scheme of things, if we're talking about like domestic travel versus international travel, obviously, like how many countries are there? There's just so much to see outside the Philippines, and hopefully maybe one day the budget will appear, like I definitely would love to have a miracle at this point. Definitely hard work is put into making money these days. Well, it's another topic for another video, but I wouldn't trade this life basically. If I had the choice to go back to the corporate world, I would still choose this. I'm earning a lot less now, not even 1/4 of what I used to, but I'm much happier. And yeah, let's go to the next con. Oh, this is exciting actually. I'm actually very excited for this next one, and it is weather challenges. And if you don't know much about the Philippines, we just practically have 2 seasons here. It's either super raining or it's sunny, but luckily for us it's kind of in the middle. But if you aren't familiar with what it's like traveling around the Philippines, there have been a lot of cancellations with flights because of like storms all of a sudden, or just unpredictability with the weather. And of course, this is not exclusive to the Philippines. You will experience this in other countries as well. But yeah, if you are traveling in the Philippines, just keep an open itinerary because you never know what kind of weather you'll be getting. In my case, it was super sunny yesterday, and now this is the weather, and we're actually on low season at the moment because it's meant to be super rainy. In Manila, it is super it's actually flooding at the moment, and I've checked the news and I just can't believe there's a lot of flood at the moment. But also don't believe everything you see in the news, because sometimes they will say it's extremely flooded, which is the case, but there are so many other places that aren't. So don't get intimidated by the news. There is always going to be another side of the Philippines where it's going to be sunny, and that's one positive thing. Actually, that's one pro to the con here, is that when it is raining in certain areas of the Philippines, you will have another island or the other side of that where it's really sunny. So in this case here right now, the weather is perfect for me actually. It's not too hot, it's not cold, it's just perfect. I would say the weather right now is maybe about 29 degrees, 30 degrees Celsius, and that's actually cool already, I would say. with some sea breeze, of course, that helps a lot. All throughout the video, you're gonna be seeing some birds just flying around us, which is quite nice actually. I think it's quite magical. Oh, there they go. They are not shy at all. But the next one is some infrastructure issues, and I've experienced this as, ooh, that bird just, I thought it was gonna crash on my face, but okay. Oh, here it comes again. Ooh, okay, let's try not to get distracted. Got startled there, but I have experienced this definitely, and if you check the other video that I made with what it's like with my daily routine here, even the road here as well, going to our pretty resort, yeah, it used to be once cemented and now it's just in shambles, and it's like going off-road basically. And I'm riding a scooter. With that kind of road, I definitely need a motocross, something that's meant to just like a dirt bike. It's just what happens when there's storm, when there are earthquakes. We do get a lot of earthquakes in the Philippines. Yeah, it's just wear and tear. And also when you're going to places that are outside of the Philippines or even in the Philippines, I don't know, I guess I don't want this video to be like a rant or anything, because it's just life, it just happens. You will have a pothole here and there, and yeah, it's just to keep an open mind. If ever, we are a developing country, so it's not gonna be perfect, and why would you want things to be perfect? It kind of takes away the fun and character. As Eddie would say, you know, it adds so much character to the Philippines. He enjoys these little adventures. And yeah, and I guess I'm gonna end the video here. That's just a couple of things that I wanted to share traveling as a Filipino. Of course, stay tuned for the next video. I'll talk about what it's like traveling internationally as a Filipino and what challenges I face there. Definitely there's gonna be a lot. I'll just name a few now because I can already think. First is visa. My Philippine passport, or my passport being a Filipino citizen, is not strong compared to other countries, so there are so many requirements and there's a lot of restrictions, and yeah, it's just it always is a bit nerve-wracking waiting for visas, because in getting a visa, let's say if I want to go to New Zealand or if I want to go to Japan, they will require you to have bookings sorted, so I have to pay in advance for accommodations, for flights, you know, and getting that visa is not even guaranteed. So it's, and they also want to see previously where we've been, so they would like to see copies of the last 2 previous passports, so that makes 3 passports in total. We have to scan and Xerox every single passport page that we have for the past 30 years. 30 years, yeah, because it's every time we get a passport, it's good for 10 years. So for the past 20 years, so your passport now plus the previous 2 previous passports, it's a lot. And then the other one obviously is currency, because earning in Filipino peso may not necessarily be the strongest currency, but if you are earning a lot here, why not? That's great. I'm very happy for you. But ooh, that bird was so close. But if you are earning minimum wage in the Philippines, yes, my heart goes to you. It's not going to be it's not going to be affordable for sure traveling to other countries, especially places like Europe and the US. But having said that, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this video entertaining or informative, and I hope to see you soon in the next video. I'm sending each and every one of you so much love, positivity, and lots of good vibes. I love you all. Bye!